A new Grand Prix year starts at the Buenos Aires Autodrome in typically fierce heat. After 2 days of practice, the shape of 1980 is clearer. For there, in pole position of the staggered starting grid, it's Alan Jones. Second fastest, Jacques Lafitte, Ligier. Third, Pironi, Ligier. Fourth, Piquet, Brabham. Fifth, De Angelis, Lotus. When the green lights come on, away will go Alan Jones, and he does so. Jacques Lafitte alongside him, Pironi behind. Villeneuve coming through, and Piquet is in fourth position. Andretti is fifth alongside Villeneuve as they go round the right-hander, then into the left-hander, which leads to the long fifth gear straight, the fastest part of the course, which leads into the fifth gear curve on, and it's Alan Jones leading the two Ligiers. Jacques Lafitte, who won this race last year, is in second place. Didier Pironi, who left the Candy Tyrrell team at the end of last year, and Arnoux is in the pits still. He came into the pits, he's yet to start the race, and Nelson Piquet on the left in the white and blue Brabham, a new colour scheme, is in fourth position. Alan Jones in the Saudi Williams, 4 wins last year, leads. The Ligiers are together with Piquet alongside them, and Piquet challenges. He goes past Pironi. He's up alongside Lafitte. Jones leads. Lafitte is in second place.
And Villeneuve just went off. Villeneuve had moved up to fifth place or thereabouts for his relatively lowly grid position. Made a great start, but he's overcooked it. I'm afraid he started his 1980 season very much as he left off.
Jones, Piquet, Lafitte, Andretti. Reutemann is in fifth place and Pironi is in sixth place as they complete the first lap. And that's René Arnoux. Wheel off, offside wheel off the Renault. René Arnoux and Mario Andretti into the pits, the 1978 world champion in the new Essex Lotus 81. Obviously in trouble, but on lap 6, Alan Jones now has a clear lead. And coming, that's Jacques Lafitte. Jacques Lafitte is going to take Nelson Piquet and second place, and he's done it. Lafitte, who won last year in the Ligier, and that's Pironi, Lafitte's teammate, out of the race. And this is the battle for second between these 3 cars, and Piquet comes out of Lafitte's slipstream alongside him and retakes second position, and Carlos Reutemann tries to take Lafitte and fails. So, tremendously close stuff for second position.
I think Lafitte and Reutemann are both quicker on their own, but they got back onto the quick part of the circuit, and the superiority of the Brabham in a straight line was then evident as Piquet grabbed his position back again.
Jochen Maas into the pits, and there is Lafitte. He's going to try and take second place away from Piquet, and he's done it. Jacques Lafitte's got the line, and he goes through into second place. Piquet nearly loses it as the back of the car flips. And they're coming out already. That Jean-Pierre Jabouille's car in the background went into the pits. Both Renaults then are out of the race. And now Carlos Reutemann is catching Piquet.
And Reutemann's locked his front wheels and gone straight on. That was very good defensive driving by Piquet. Reutemann was a little bit too committed there, and he couldn't get into the corner because Piquet was holding the inside line and blocking Reutemann's turning in point there.
As Alan Jones now with a very comfortable lead early on in the race goes on, and Reutemann into the pits.
Yes, I should think, Murray, that he got grass or something in his radiators then, or maybe damaged the skirt. The temperature of the car is always terribly critical in BA. The engines run very, very hot. Reutemann may or may not have caught his engine before it was damaged. We've had a lot of problems during practice with the track breaking up. The track was resurfaced apparently about a month ago, and the new surface that they put on in places has not taken properly. It hasn't been weathered in properly. It's probably been a hot spell down there, and it's been breaking up, which makes it very slippery indeed, and there have been complaints. The drivers were having a big meeting about it. I gather there was a lot of argy-bargy about whether they should race or not.
And Jones off! Jones off the course, and Andretti goes through to repass him.
There's a lot of what we call the marbles on the track. You get a little bit offline, and all of the bits that are broken up on the track have turned to gravel, and it is literally like driving on gravel. If you get on that gravel, you just have no grip at all, especially with those big fat tires. That may be what happened to Jones, but we'll have to see how he re-establishes himself.
And that's Carlos Reutemann, Alan Jones's teammate, sitting absolutely still in the car, obviously out of the race. He's turned it in. No time to have a conversation with him. As into the pits comes Alan Jones. This is the leader.
Well, that was an amazingly quick pit stop, where I couldn't see exactly what they did. It did look as if they were diving at his radiators, and one can only assume that they've pulled out any muck that got stuck in there from his excursion.
Alan Jones rejoins in 4th place, just ahead of Jody Scheckter in 5th place. There's Scheckter in the Ferrari. Jones then down from 1st to 4th position. There's the leader, Lafitte. Behind him, Piquet, and behind Piquet, Gilles Villeneuve, lap 20 out of 53.
And Alan Jones just appeared in the picture at the back there in 4th place with Scheckter behind him, so we've got the first 5 cars covered by not much more than 10 seconds, and they're all closing up.
And a very despondent, depressed, dejected Carlos Reutemann, who wanted so much to do well in front of his home crowd. The battle for 2nd position. Piquet and Villeneuve. And
Villeneuve's gone off. He's just made a little mistake at the S chicane there, but I don't think it's lost him any ground. He held the car nice and straight over the grass, but again, of course, he may have got a bit of grass in his radiators. Only time can tell.
Alan Jones is fighting back. He's closed up to the battle for 2nd between Villeneuve and Piquet.
Yeah, Jones is getting the toe down the straight. He's going to pull out, and I reckon he's going to do Villeneuve now. But Villeneuve will fight for sure, because he's the last man to give up in the situation. Jones is through on the braking, and Villeneuve's having a go back at him.
But Jones holds the position. So Alan Jones upper place and now pulling away.
Yes, well, Villeneuve's return stab there cost him a bit of time. Here we have it in replay. You'll see that Jones gets through, Villeneuve makes a bit of a mess of it afterwards. It's cost him a bit of a gap, which gives Jones the cushions he needs. But Jones has wasted it. Look at the main picture. Jones has spun there. He got onto the marbles, and he's wasted it, which was a very stupid mistake, and most unlike Alan Jones, who's normally so steady.
So, Gilles Villeneuve up to 3rd position. Alan Jones there, down to 4th position.
And Villeneuve's now made a mistake. Villeneuve's gone off at the S, and he's let Jones slip by, but I think he held it okay. Yes, he did. He's back on the track.
That's how hard they're pressing each other. Villeneuve makes a mistake. Alan Jones benefits from it, and he's really rolling the car very gently round that twisty section there. And that's Emerson Fittipaldi, double ex-world champion, out of the race. Alan Jones in 3rd position, Piquet in 2nd, Villeneuve behind them in 4th position, and Jones right now with Piquet.
Jones gets the power down better. Now Jones got out of the slippery bit there, and he's just slipped past him with better traction and taking a better line, getting onto the grippy bit better than Piquet did, who under pressure went a little bit wide.
And Villeneuve goes off, Piquet goes off, and Villeneuve gains on him. Now, he is going to be rattled, and Villeneuve goes through.
No, Villeneuve's overdone it. Look, it's on the slippery bit. Piquet fought back. He forced Villeneuve to lock up. This is really too exciting for me. I can't handle this.
There is the leader, Jacques Lafitte. 2nd place, Alan Jones. 3rd place, Villeneuve. And 26, Jacques Lafitte in the Ligier Cosworth leads the Argentine Grand Prix of 1980, as he did in 1979, and in 1979 he won. This is the battle for the lead. Alan Jones big in the mirrors of Jacques Lafitte's Ligier.
Yes, Jones was in the perfect position. He started about 6 or 7 lengths behind Lafitte. He's towed closer and closer. They've come out of the loop, and now he's got the run up, and he will for sure sweep past Jacques Lafitte on the straight now. There he goes, pulled out, and it's all easy for him because he got his judgment just right in the starting place on the straight.
Jones out of Lafitte's slipstream, taking the lead, and back again into 1st position, the place that he lost on the 17th lap. And now on lap 30, Alan Jones is on his way to his 6th Grand Prix victory if the car lasts. Jones, Lafitte, Villeneuve, and Lafitte seems to be holding on to Alan Jones and out comes his hand. Lafitte's engine has blown. The Ligier is out and through into 2nd position. The roadblock removed goes Gilles Villeneuve, and there is the French-Canadian Jacques Lafitte. Cruel luck, number 26, with smoke out of the back of the car, with the pressure cap blowing off from the tank. That is the gap between Alan Jones, the leader, and Villeneuve, who is trying very, very hard indeed as he comes up to the right-hand bend here. Lights it up, and he's off! He's off! Villeneuve off! Is he all right?
Well, that looked to me, Murray, as if it suggested something broke on the front of the car then, because the car never appeared to make any attempt at all to turn right. He went through the left-hand bit of the corner. When he went to turn right, it just went straight on, and that usually indicates a front-end failure. It didn't look like a mistake from Villeneuve. It was just too dead straight.
Alan Jones goes on his way, now leading Nelson Piquet, who has moved up into 2nd position. Jody Scheckter, the world champion, up to 3rd. Keke Rosberg to 4th. Derek Daly, the Irish driver in the Candy Tyrrell, in 5th place. and Bruno Giacomelli, the Italian, in the Alfa Romeo in 6th position and the last man to gain World Championship points if the race finishes in the order that the drivers are in now, which seems unlikely from the way it's gone so far. And Scheckter, that is Jody Scheckter's car. It's blown, the engine has blown, and that is something you do not expect to see with Ferrari, who are famous for their reliability. So, Villeneuve out with a broken car, very much so, and now Jody Scheckter. And that is the unfortunate Patrick Depailler, who broke both his legs with a hang gliding accident last summer, lost his place in the Ligier team, went to Alfa Romeo and is now out of the race. In with a bang is Keke Rosberg, number 21 in the Fittipaldi ex-Wolf car, who is now up into 3rd position, just ahead of Derek Daly in the Candy Tyrrell, who is well up in the points in 4th position. There's the checkered flag in the Williams pit, the Union Jack ready to greet him home, and he'll be delighted to see that, because out of this race has gone Villeneuve, Scheckter, Patrese, Reutemann, Lafitte, Andretti, Jabouille, Arnoux, Depailler and Pironi, but not Alan Jones. Fangio, the checkered flag, Alan Jones wins the first Grand Prix of 1980 in the Argentine, and a famous and a superb victory it is too.